the world this information by not leaving it out. And other people have now taken it and are running with it. And we are so blessed to have had this information, all the years, because when you see, even during COVID, the World Health Organization, the things that they told people, drink a lot of water, go out in the sun, eat fruits and vegetables, that is a message that any Adventist knows. Or is there somebody who does not know about sunlight and water and eating lots of vegetables? I think as Adventists, that is something we've known. But now today, we are not going to learn about these things that we know, but to say, are we qualified to go out? This message of go and make disciples. How can I make disciples in the context of health? And who is qualified to be a medical missionary? I've been talking about literature missionaries, people who go out with the message of the publishing work, with the books. That is a missionary. But going out with the message of health, praying for people, teaching them the simple health messages and telling them that they should prosper in all things and be in good health, that is a message that not many people know. Not many people know that there is a connection between your spiritual well-being and your health, and that God is interested as much as in your physical health as much as he is in your spiritual health. Don't worry if it's not working. It's okay. Pardon?
This one, the machine.
Okay. It's okay. Just remove it. All right. It looks like we are having tech issues here. I'll do without the slides that I wanted to use, although I see as if it has picked it up. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll do without the slides. So today I'm going to focus on who is called to do this medical missionary work. Pastor has told us that all of us, a child of God who is following Christ, can go out with that authority because Christ has empowered us. And more so, we have been empowered in this church with this message, which we should not keep for ourselves. There's simple things that sometimes we take for granted. Even the message of cleanliness. I remember a long time ago, they would say that if you go to the village, in any particular village, at least my grandmother's place where I used to visit those sides of Kindube, they said that you would tell a home which is an Adventist home from another home, because in the Adventist home you are sure that water will be boiled, everything will be clean, and you can drink that water freely. Who knows about that experience? Okay, maybe it's only where I came from, but they would know that they were unique. So the first person that is called to be a medical missionary is every church member is called to do medical missionary work. And quoting from what Ellen G. White says about this, by the way, Ellen G. White, I think Elder Asa mentioned, I heard somebody mentioning yesterday, she was a prophet and a religious leader who was ahead of her time. Now I'm clarifying this because I was in a church where somebody who was a new member one day came and asked my husband that he would like to meet Sister White, because everyone was mentioning Sister White, Sabbath in, Sabbath out. And he was wondering, who is this Sister White in this congregation? So I'm just clarifying that. So the members of the church are in need of an awakening, that they may realize their responsibility to impart the truths that have been committed to us. And opportunities to impart these truths are within the reach of everyone. Each and every one of us is called to do something. There are some people who excuse themselves that, no, I cannot be a medical missionary because I have home duties, I have my children claim my time and my means. Let your children help you in the message of going out to proclaim the word to everyone. And as Pastor had said, that medical missionary work with the health message is the pioneer work of the gospel, the door through which the truth of this time is to find entrance to many times. And saying that any church member can do it, it starts by doing what Jesus did, being where the people are, praying for them, praying for the sick. You don't have to be a healer, that you have to be a qualified physician, but prayer is a key element in healing. And just going to pray for the sick can open doors. I remember there was a time that there was a lady who got an accident, and she was not from our church, and her daughter had recently started attending our church. She was not even a full member. But the church members, we went as a team, drove to a different town where she had got the accident, and went and prayed with her. Now, just that prayer and taking to her materials, we took literature, we took to her, things that she could use, like we bought towels, we bought things that she could use in the hospital because she got the accident in a different town. She was so amazed that people who don't know her can come and pray with her during her time of sickness. And the team did not go once, they went twice. When she left the hospital, she started attending the church. So God's people are to be genuine medical missionaries and to learn to minister to both the needs of the body and the soul. So all church members, all of us here, are called to do the medical missionary work, to go out with this health message. Secondly, mothers. Every mother is called to do this medical missionary work. Mothers especially should know how to care for their families, both in health and in sickness. And somebody was so concerned the other day and said that there are a lot of people in this church who, they reach a certain age and they get sick of lifestyle diseases. So the person was appealing to the ladies because, the women can kill you or heal you in the kitchen. Is that true? By the foods that we can cook, we can either kill or heal our families because we are the ones that have charge of what is going into their system. And what goes in to build our bodies is so key. So every mother should know how to care for their families, both in health and in sickness. All of us should become intelligent in the use of simple home remedies, water treatment, for example, knowing the use of water both internally and externally. So my appeal to the mothers, both the mothers-to-be and the current mothers, is that let us empower ourselves with the principles of health so that we may know how to care for our families. What about children? Can children be medical missionaries? Parents, let us take time to read to our children the health books. Now, yesterday I mentioned about the spiritual books, but we have health books which we will use, and I'll demonstrate one just after this. If we can teach our children from an early age, even to read labels, all the nice things that the children have, I'm putting nice in quotes, all the things that are tantalizing to the tongue. If you teach the children to read labels from a time when they are young, when my son was young, he had allergies, and he was asthmatic, and the doctor had said that, he'll have to be on the pump and all that until he's a grown-up. But thank God we overcame it because it was just for that early age. But I taught him to read labels, and sometimes he would get so annoyed, like, this thing that is nice has MSG, and this thing has all the bad things. But let us train them from an early age to read labels. Even as adults, let us learn to read the labels when you go to buy the food and learn what is not healthy for you. Every minister is called to be a medical missionary, and I think Pastor has told us that is an entry which you can use even where you cannot preach the word. And then, there are cases where it's easier to pray with someone and help them in a practical way when they are sick than to go with the Bible direct. And every physician is also called to be a medical missionary. Maybe we have clinicians here, and you can be a physician, a clinician, but you may not necessarily be a medical missionary if you are not praying with your patients and praying for your patients. So a physician or a nurse is not a medical missionary unless they are ministering to the spiritual needs of the people like Christ did. So if you are a nurse here in our midst or a physician, and you are not praying with your patient and taking care of their spiritual well-being, you are not a missionary, medical missionary. And every Bible worker is also called to be a medical missionary. So all of us should know how to give simple treatments that relieve pain and remove disease from the body. And as I have mentioned, and it is mentioned all the time, that this is the pioneer work for the gospel during our time. And every colporteur, like us, is also called to be a medical missionary. So we should pray in faith with the people, but also learn the simple treatments that can be offered. You don't have to take Panadol for every headache. There are people who live on Panadol. I don't know whether you have such people in your families, but I know people who have Panadol in their handbag all the time. Every small headache, they go for Panadol. But if you are a medical missionary, you'll first of all teach them that what is the cause of this headache? Instead of going straight for the Panadol, instead of going straight for that medication, what is the root cause? Because sometimes it may just be dehydration. The person has not drank water. So we should all be empowered with these simple remedies. And so today, my challenge to you is that each and every one of us should learn the basic, simple messages of the health message. And the book Ministry of Healing, which was written long time ago, 1905, has got principles which live up to now. And I just wanted to remind you of New Start. Can we help? How many of you have heard about New Start? I'm sure everyone. Okay. So can I just pinpoint, what does the N stand for? N. You've forgotten. Anyone? The N? Nutrition. The E? Exercise. W? W? And then there is the S, sunlight. T, temperance. Then A, air. R, which we so much need. And then the last one is trust in God. So nutrition is so key. And I've realized that a lot of times we talk a lot about nutrition, but we don't teach people how to make the things. We may tell people, go and be a vegetarian. But you may think that vegetarian is just sukuma wiki and ugali every day. So I think even within the church, and there I can challenge even this church, to get books that have recipes, like Encyclopedia of Healthy Foods, which teaches you from the sufurias that you need to use, from the utensils, and the other substitutes. Because if you eat sukuma wiki and ugali every day, you'll soon be deficient. So there are lots of herbs that we can use. And today, this session, I'm ending this session and then transitioning to the next session, which is on publishing. But I would like to make it practical. So our time is up for the health session, but we will then move to the practical part, which also involves the publishing. Is there anyone with a question or a comment? Okay. Yes. There's my sister who was supposed to help me here. If she can come, maybe somebody can wash their hands and then. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Happy come. I have a question.
Yes.
I am also a medical missionary.
Yes.
Last time we are doing research on COVID. I went to Cambria in Kisiani, Kondera, and even in Nairobi.
Okay.
The challenge is when you go there, the director does not allow the idea of medical missionary to use it. So how can you help me?
The echo, I'm not getting what you're saying because of the
Yeah, I am a medical missionary.
Okay.
Last time we were doing a research on COVID. Here in Kisumu, we also went to Cambria in Nairobi.
Yes.
You have some natural remedies which can at least assist about COVID.
Okay.
But the challenge is some directors in Kenya and in other countries where I know,
Yes.
they don't allow the idea of medical missionary. So how can you help me?
Well, so he wants me to help him with the directors that don't allow. Unfortunately, I can't help you. We would just have to get access, get a way of accessing those directors. But you know what? This awareness raising, it is needed everywhere. So we need to raise awareness even with our governments and everywhere. So I'm sure every government has got a protocol that you need to follow in order to access it. So the first thing would be to make an appointment, because I know that most of the ministries of health have got that unit of research. Others have got even a unit that does research on traditional medicines and health remedies. So just to follow the procedures that are recommended until you reach that person, because they also rely on things that have been tested. If you just go and say, this thing can treat COVID, it will not be accepted unless it goes through the channels. So you'd have to go through the channels that are there that are recommended, because eventually then you reach to the right place. I was working for some Ministry of Health somewhere, and it was amazing that our colporters reached our department, and our books were in that government department. So the colporters, I was a colporter myself, but I was doing it part-time. But some colporter went and reached these government departments, and they took the books, displayed them in the government library, and also in other libraries of other public places. So they went through the right channels, got the person who was in charge of health promotion, and through those getting the people in the right channels, they got access even to go and do community awareness in the community. So that's why I'm saying, if we follow the right channels, pole pole mpaka, you get to the right place. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much. So we've mentioned nutrition, and today, so today for the publishing ministry, I want to talk about healthy juices. And in terms of nutrition, now I'm linking it to the health message that I've just given. In terms of nutrition, you know, there are certain foods, if this thing was working, you would have seen the slides. I have pictures. There are certain foods that make you get old very quickly. Does anyone know those foods? Any food that makes you grow old quickly? Anyone wants to try? Pardon? Foods that make you grow old quickly. Pardon? Somebody has said that ugali, yes. Pardon? Sugar. Yes, it's true. So processed foods, highly processed foods make you grow old so quickly. So if you are eating, and somebody has mentioned ugali, yes, if it is ugali that is refined, which you think is so pure white, that is highly processed. Those foods make you grow old quickly. So we have the ugali, the chips, the foods that are high in salt, sugar, the fine flours that have been highly processed. But raw foods like the healthy juices that we mention here enhance our health because they make you get the nutrients direct, you easily absorb it, and you'll get the enzymes that are still alive, that have not been killed by the foods. So today we want to talk about a healthy green juice, which is made from simple things that we have. There was somebody who was to come and help me because my hands are not, I don't know where they're going. Are you the one who will help me now? Can I use this one? Can you hear me? Okay, so this is a green juice that we'll make. The ingredients are sukuma wiki, but when you are making juices with the sukuma wiki, so you just need to make sure that it is sukuma wiki that does not have chemicals. When you are eating raw foods, the raw salads and so on, you need to first of all wash your vegetables very well so that in case they have chemicals, you remove them and they are fresh. These ones were picked this morning. So one ingredient is sukuma wiki. Then the next ingredient that we'll use is the pineapple. And the good thing about pineapple is that when you use it, you can even use the peels of the pineapple, but not in the same smoothie. Yeah, just cut it and put it here. So the peels of the pineapple, once you can make pineapple water with it. You can take it, boil it, let it cool, put some ginger and then some honey, take it warm or take it cold. So then you would have made your own soda instead of going to buy the soda. So she's cutting the sukuma wiki. Now for the greens, you can use any green for making a green juice. You can use broccoli, you can use spinach. People have different preferences based on, all their taste buds or their systems. You can add a little more. You can use spinach. I like the taste of skuma more than spinach, so I prefer spinach. Then you can also use, I'll hold this one that we are not going to use. This is a cucumber, which is the other green that we are going to combine here. And because some people don't like bitter things, even some people don't like even mito and so on. So they may think that the sukuma wiki will be bitter. So the pineapple is to sweeten it up and to make it palatable a bit. You can even add a banana to it. And then there is a seed here, Chia Seeds. People pronounce them differently. This is a superfood full of so much energy. So we put a teaspoonful in that so that you have, some energy in your juice. Sorry, then, you can add those ones there. Then we'll also use lemon, full of vitamin C, but also makes it palatable. Now, we don't have time to explain every detail of what each and every fruit is bringing, but you'll find the details when you get a book like Healthy Juices. I think that is enough. So for the lemon, we'll use the whole lemon, and also just make sure that you scrub it well so that if there is any foreigners, in the lemon or on the lemon, it is removed. So we'll use the seeds and the peel. They are very important oils in the peel that we sometimes miss when we don't use it. I think you can just put half of that, not all of that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so she'll add the skooma. Then she'll cut the cucumber. You can cut half of the cucumber and we put it there. And then we also have ginger, which is a herb which I'm sure all of us, at least everybody, during COVID, the price of ginger went so high up, the price of ginger and lemons. So she'll mix that. Yeah, I think half is okay, so that this doesn't pull. Then I have some, here I have some pineapple which was already cut, which we will mix here. It was frozen. When making the juices, because we want to preserve the enzymes here, let's add it here. We don't recommend you doing it at high heat, and that's why you also need to invest in a good blender where you will not be increasing the temperature and getting rid of the enzymes that you want to get from this and benefit from this. Just put all of it, yeah. So she will add that, then she will cut the lemon. There's this yellow one has already been washed. You will cut it, and then the ginger. And there we will have our smoothie, which is very good, especially if you take it in the morning. I find that it gives me lots of energy when I take it. The benefit of raw food as well is that it energizes you. It energizes you. You get the vitamins, vitamin A and K that you will get from the skuma wiki, the vitamin C that you are getting, and the energy that you are getting from the chia seeds. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, you can add. Then you can add one banana and the lemon. So in the book Healthy Juices, it has recipes for drinks. It tells you the benefits of water. It has the recipes for making milk from different seeds and from different nuts. Yeah, so don't remove the seeds. Yeah, just remove this part only. So yes, so she's going to cut everything as it is, just slice it into eighths, and then everything will go in, the seeds and just slice it into quarters. So these healthy juices enable you to get your ingredients direct. And particularly for people who are sick or recuperating, sometimes you have people who cannot digest solid foods. So it is easier to give them soups. You can make soups, cold soups, or warm soups for them, but soups that have ingredients, that have nutrients. So this book will show you different juices by the different systems of the body. So it will give you the juices that are good for your eyes, juices that are good for the digestive system, juices that are good for the respiratory system, juices that are good for your gut, and so on. So it will also go ahead to show you juices for specific diseases. For example, heartburn. You know, there are people who are always on antacids. I've even forgotten what is the name of the most common antacid here. There used to be one called Actol, yes. So there are people who are always on Actol. You don't need to jump to Actol all the time. First of all, you need to find out what is causing you that heartburn. And if you have it, this one is enough. Then you can take a tablespoonful of this, put it in water, then add water this way. Yeah. So it has juices for specific diseases, for specific ailments, and so on. So there are people who have got this book from me when they had patients, and they say they survived because of taking the healthy juices. So instead of having processed drinks that will make you grow old too quickly, I would recommend that we go for the healthy juices. And it's normally so sad when I see mothers giving their children soda going to school. In the morning, first thing, you see a child drinking Fanta. So if you give them this, it will also make you full quickly. Okay. She's laughing. Maybe she'll tell us why. I don't know why the laughter, but it looks like the people in this church know something about Fanta. Do you want to share? I want to know. Maybe Pastor will tell me. Okay.
The reason why I'm laughing, the other time when we were on a nature Sabbath at Kitimikai, women ministry, and we were talking about healthy foods. So we mentioned something like women who normally feed their husbands on soda mangich gi chapat. Kok mangich gi chapat. Please, leave that diet alone. Kok mangich gi chapat is not a balanced diet and it's not food. And that's why when she mentioned Fanta mangich, I remember that topic that we had at Kitimikai. And you are getting repeating it. It's not food and it's not good. So I'm still encouraging wamama. Kok mangich gi chapat, wachane nai.
Thank you. I think you can add a little water. Let it. Okay, so we'll blend this and people will taste it. So cold Coke and chapati. And you know, healthy foods takes intentionality because Coke is so easy. You just go and grab it. But this one you need to plan. So may the Lord help us to be intentional and not to kill. I'd say that women can kill their families or heal them. So let us heal them with healthy juices. So there is this healthy juices and juicing for life. Try it out to get the nutrients directly into your body. But a disclaimer, there are people who think that because they want to lose weight, because these healthy juices will help you maintain a good weight, will help you maintain good blood, levels. You cannot survive on juices alone. The best thing is to eat the fruit whole as it is. But the juices are for enjoyment and, to help us enhance our lives and get the vitamins, but they are not food because you do not have the proteins there, for example, and you do not have all the fiber that you need. So thank you so much for listening to that. We'll give time to finish making our juice, and then you'll be welcome to taste it at any time. But in the meantime, you are welcome to go to the table to look out for healthy juices. The investment is way, way beyond what you'll get anywhere else because it's a once-off investment. You have it on the shelf. You have it linked with the various diseases that it will help and the various parts of the body. And if you teach your children, because initially they are not palatable, because when I started making this green juice, my family members would go, sukuma wiki. But then you can train your taste buds. And you can train your taste buds just the way we can change our habits within 21 days. Our taste buds can also be renewed by God's grace and change. So may the Lord help us to get into the healthy smoothies and the healthy juices that this book talks to us about. Pastor, I don't know whether you are coming up front again today, but at this point in time, I'll welcome people to go to the table and look at that. Yes. taste bud has been well trained, you don't need even to sweeten with honey. Even our drinks, like our teas, there are people who can't take tea without sugar than they do with honey. But even the honey, if your taste bud is trained, you can take your herbal tea without honey. But for the sake of having people who are mixed in the congregation, we'll put some little honey to sweeten it. Because you also, if you want the whole family to be involved in this, you don't start with things that are so harsh because you can make it, isn't it? You want your family to come along with you and enjoy the food so that your taste buds are transformed as a family, and it's not only you who is making it.
Praise the name of the Lord. We are almost going to the table so that we can secure a book. And just before that, as mom is finalizing on this, we have a personal testimony, mom, that one of us would like to make on what you have just discussed here. So maybe during my time of collection, I want to give it to her so that we will end our collection tomorrow, but this time we use for the testimony. It's good to hear testimonies. Karibu sana, Mrs. Okwach, so that you can share briefly as she finalizes.
Good morning, members. Praise God. My name is Elizabeth Okwach. I had a burning feeling that I should just stand for 1 minute. I will not take a lot of your time, as my Nyawana shared this story about the fruits and the vegetables. And one of the things that I know is that the fruits and the vegetables are the live part of food. The rest of the foods, I could say, are dead because we have cooked them, we have boiled them, we have put them out in the sun. They give us the energy we need, they give us the proteins we need, but they don't give us the minerals and vitamins that we need to drive the cells. My experience with this book started around 2020. My husband got very ill. It was during the COVID times. And as we sought a diagnosis, which was very elusive because we couldn't travel much during the lockdowns, I was introduced to this book. And I was able to start making some juices that helped us along as we were trying to find a diagnosis. When the diagnosis finally came in 2021, and it was colon cancer, I studied this book and the cancer book behind there, and the 3-set book called the Encyclopedia of Food, as if I was studying for a PhD thesis. And I thank God for this church. My testimony about books in this church can be told another time, but this church is very blessed. What I learned in this book is that a lot of research went into compiling these books. They are not just writers who sat and decided to write. They take time to go to the lab, to do clinical research before they write these books on health. And so, being a scientist myself, and my husband too, there are books that we took seriously. I learned to do most of the juices. The reason I have felt I should stand is because cancer sometimes is that taboo subject. When we have a family member who has been diagnosed with cancer, sometimes it's not so easy to share, to talk about it. But when I did, and I reached out to my Nyawana here, she said, take heart. If you already are making juices, you are already halfway on your journey. I do not say that the juices healed my husband. God did the healing. Amen? But they assisted us on the way to recovery. Chemotherapy is very harsh, like many doctors will tell you here, because they are trying to kill the bad cells, and in the process they kill the good cells. Some of the cells that are most affected are the gut cells. And so because they are trying every so often, that the doctor will come now and add more chemical and kill the cells again. They are trying to wake up, to revive themselves. And again, the cycle repeats. 8 sessions we had to go through every 3 weeks. So the gut suffers a lot. And if at that point, your patient or yourself, you will not be able to eat properly. Actually, many people say the chemotherapy killed my relative because the gut cells died. The gut cannot absorb what you give your patient, and in the process sometimes they even vomit what they eat, and so they go down pole. So I want to urge each one of us, while we are still vibrant and healthy mothers, let us learn how to do the juices from the raw foods. Include a raw food in your diet every day. It's not necessary to cook everything. Try to do it. This book gives you such good guides. It tells you if your patient is suffering from, for example, anemia. It is one of the problems that occur when you are on chemotherapy or even when you are having cancer, because the red blood cells are killed by the chemotherapy too, where they are sourced from the bone marrow. So once you go to the anemia page, it will tell you these are the things that we need, and this is how we combine them. For example, I remember cashew nuts are very good for people who are suffering from anemia. They have high iron, but iron cannot be used if you don't have vitamin C with it. It will just pass. So you have the combination, and they tell you how to combine it with the iron and the vitamin C, either from a green vegetable or from the lemons, and there you have your anemia drink. So if you love reading, you will read pole and understand. That's just one example. There are too many examples here. Even our good tomato for the ladies who have men in their homes, the tomato is very good against prostate cancer and uterine cancer. There are very good substances in the tomato that help to build the cells in these 2 organs. So pick a book, learn, and practice. Don't put it on the shelf. I used this book in 2021. It looks like a very old book. My blender and my food processor collapsed. I had to buy new ones because I was on the juices every day. I repeat, it's not the juices that healed my husband. It is God who healed him, but the juices aided us on that harsh road of chemotherapy. Thank you so much.
I didn't even know that she was here, but I think you've had it live. So we'll finish making it and then if you can hear. I think you can switch it off. Okay. So one other caution, when you are taking juices or smoothies from raw foods, don't just gulp it as if you are taking your Fanta and chapat mangich. Since it is raw food and we are human beings, not cows, that will go and regurgitate it, you chew it. So when you are drinking juice, these healthy juices, you don't just drink it, so you chew it even though it is a juice, so that the enzymes in your mouth can also work on it and also aid in the digestion. So next time, mothers, even if you are at lunchtime serving us with a healthy juice, just don't gulp it. Thank you so much. I think our time is up. We'll welcome people to the table. And also, there was supposed to be some cups here. The disposable, for people who want to taste this juice, you are welcome to do so. God bless you.
We have a few disposable glasses, so those who are not that much used to Coke, you can try this down there. We have a few disposable glasses. So first come, first serve. Taste this, compare with the Coke, you'll get the difference.
Praise the Lord. Yes, let us go and taste more also in the table there. I just want to welcome all of us to go there. I know we have very limited time remaining. So kindly just rise. People are tasting. Just see. No, not tasting. People are getting healed. There. Go for your dose. Thank you so much. Amen.